Exile Radio presents Review This, a brief look at contemporary and classic albums, movies, and video games, shared by Exile Radio DJs and staff.
Hello, my name is Cameron Follett with the Exile Radio, and today I'm reviewing Fallout New Vegas, a role-playing game, or RPG for short, that was released back in 2010 by Obsidian Game Studios and published by Bethesda Game Studios for the Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. Fallout New Vegas is alternate reality with a divergence being right after World War II, and the world started using nuclear energy for everyday items. This eventually led to a Third World War called the Great War, which ended on October 23, 2077, where the United States was hit by nuclear bombs all over the country. Most of the only people who survived lived in underground vaults brought by a company named Vault-Tec. They made nuclear bomb-proof bunkers that could fit almost entire neighborhoods into an underground bunker that could feed and shelter people until the world was able to be settled again. The next clip is a bit of the intro sequence of the game.
War. War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults.
This is only one of the many entries in the Fallout franchise. I suggest you take a look at them, but back to the game. Fallout New Vegas is set in Las Vegas, now called New Vegas or the Strip, Nevada in 2281, roughly 204 years after the Great War. Las Vegas was saved by the bombs by a mysterious overlord of the Strip named Mr. House. He has since revived the spirit of Vegas by rebuilding 3 of the casinos and recruited and reformed tribals into Rat Pack era-inspired employees of the casinos. The door to Mr. House Casino has opened until your character arrives, but that is spoilers of the main story, so I'm going to stop there. The next 2 clips are Mr. House, and after that is the leader chairman, Benny, talking about a key item in the main quest line.
You see that you and I are of a different stripe, don't you? We don't have to dream that we're important. We are.
It's the house edge, baby. The key to stacking the odds in his favor. Or was, until I swiped it.
The facts about New Vegas that makes you never want to put it on the controller is all the diversity in the game. From the characters to the quests and the locations, you can really tell that the developers put their heart and soul into this game. You have the New California Republic, which is a group trying to restore democracy and is based off America from before the war. Then you have Caesar's Legion, a group that is very strongly based off the Roman Empire, whose goal is to conquer New Vegas. Then there's locations. From the Strip itself to different vaults, where people went to be saved from nuclear holocaust, you discover a different horrific experiment in each one. Only a handful of actual vaults save people. Outside of Vegas, you have Freeside, which is a slum where people who can't afford the credit check to get in New Vegas live. The following clip is from the later a group of Elvis impersonators in Freeside called the Kings. Then there's a clip of the leader of Caesar's Legion, Caesar, showing his true brutality.
What can the king do for you?
That's right. Under normal circumstances, the reason it wouldn't happen again is that you'd be crucified. Or worse.
The controls for the game are basic to anyone who is familiar with most games, be that PC, Xbox, or PS3. Gameplay-wise, you get a special system, which stands for Strength, Perception, Endurance, Charisma, Intelligence, Agility, and finally Luck. The skill system allows players to put around 12 points every level to a certain skill, whether it be Repair, Barter, Science, etc. They all start off around 6 and then max at 100, and how you decide to distribute those points determines what choices you do down the road, because almost every conflict or choice can be handled in many different ways, and it's determined by the number of points you have in that skill. The perks that you have are allowed to choose from are determined by 2 things, your level and your skill. The armor and weapons are like many RPGs, in which in the beginning you only have weak weapons and armor, but throughout the game you level up, you start seeing more powerful weapons and armor available. The graphics are not compared to recent games, but for 2010, they were pretty good, with the real essence of Nevada and the skies and desert being on point. The characters are pretty good, but the lips often mess up, and the rare spinning head glitch in the game. If looking for hyper-realistic 100% accuracy, this isn't your game, but still very impressive for being released back in 2010. The sound of music for Fallout New Vegas is one of the game's strong suits. The music while walking around the Mojave Desert is kind of a quiet, ambient western kind of music with the violin, and suddenly switching to an ambush state, switching to a somewhat scary kind of fast, sudden, upbeat tune. There's a radio broadcast out of Vegas called Radio New Vegas that plays music from the 50s era, because all the other music is all gone. The music ranges from Dean Martin to Marty Robbins, and they're all great songs to listen to while you're killing radioactive creatures in the wasteland. The replayability fall into Vegas is very 50-50, because there are 4 endings to the game corresponding to the 4 major factions you can side with, but a lot of the quests you see in one faction ending are near the 3. 50% of the quests you get are the same, but you also have the other 50%, which are unique quests that you can only get if you are allied to that faction. An example, in one quest, for the NCR, you could be defending someone very important for attack, but if you side with the Legion, you could be the one attacking that person. They are very different than they may seem, but both sides are really fun to play and watch. For XL Radio's Review This, I'm Cameron Follett.